Alright, what's up everyone? I'm going to be doing a SIG gameplay guide. I said I'd do this many months ago, but I guess I finally got around to doing it, right? Better late than never. Anyways, yeah, I haven't really played Sigma much. Like, this is probably like the first few times I played SIG in a year, so, fair warning, the mechanics and the whatever, and the exact intricacies are going to look a little off. But this is like a good overview of like what you're expecting to do when you play the character, right? So I'm going to start in the training range because there are a fair amount of intricacies to like how the character's mechanics works that might not be self-evident, right? So I guess for starters, right, SIG, it's quintessential poke tank, right? So like your range is approximately 22 meters, right? You see it's hitting the bot. And if you notice, the bot's actually getting jostled around a little, right? Your projectiles can knock people around a bit, right? So when they explode, or it might be like when you directly hit them, I'm not entirely sure exactly what the mechanics are there. It's not really that important, but like you can knock people around a bit, right? Sometimes it will mess people's aims up. Something to keep in mind, right? Anyways, right, your range is quite long, right? Like your directs go to 22-ish meters, but your explosions, you see, I'm still hitting them here, even here. All like, it depends on the exact dimensions of the character models, but like we'll say are roughly 25 meters. On average, your projectile explosions will still hit, right? So obviously they do reduce damage if you're not hitting directs, but it's still very valuable. Even if you're not hitting directs, just keep spamming people at that range because you're still doing damage and forcing resources, right? And it's also very beneficial to play this range, right? Because like, if I'm playing close and I miss, right, I do nothing, right? So like, I'm getting a little bit of reflection there, but if I'm here, right, even if I miss, right, I'm still getting value by virtue of my projectiles exploding around people, right? So keep that in mind. Right. I don't know if you noticed there, the projectiles will travel a set distance, right? I believe it's 22 meters, and they will explode at the end of it, right? So, try to demonstrate that here. You see, I'm reflecting it off the surface here, and like they're still just, bouncing and exploding after that distance, right? So, for example, if people are close, one thing you can do is shoot the floor, right? Especially if they're kind of like mobile characters, because like you can functionally shorten the explosion distance. Which, if if they're weak or whatever, and you like just need to guarantee a kill, that can be something you can bank on. Or alternatively, if people are around a corner, right? For example, right now I can't really see this tracer, but I can bounce my projectiles off the wall and still get good value, right? Very beneficial to pretty much always be shooting on this character, right? Because like you can pretty much, I wouldn't say all the time, but like it's pretty common to be in positions like this where, oops, you have to be kidding me, where you can bounce your projectiles off walls and still get value, or bounce it off the floor. Um, Obviously, if you're too close, the angle's gonna be too steep and reflects off the floor. But like, yeah, do stuff like this, right? Always get value, right? So, um, shield, pretty obvious, right? You don't want to just sit it in the open and just let it like get burst down, right? Let's see. I think I can change the bots to rocket bots. They do more damage. The big thing is like, you don't want to just sit it out in the open and just let it get destroyed, right? Like if there's just a ton of spam, for example, like in this situation, literally just like don't peek, right? Really you want to use your shield primarily to block cooldowns or like to sustain yourself in like 1 or 2v1s, right? Or 1v2s, I guess. Because otherwise it just gets melted, right? 700-800 HP is not that much. It will get focus fired and die very quickly, right? So like, obvious examples of what to use it on. If Anna has sleep dart or nade, it's good idea. Yeah, stickies from Echo, stuff along those lines, right? Or in a 1v1, right? Because it blocks headshot damage, right? I mean, by virtue of being a shield. So when you're eating a lot of spam, either just LOS it, or early in a fight, you can use your grasp, right? If they're just spamming an angle, because you get a ton of extra overhealth, right? And by the time you actually walk in range, like commit to the fight, your grasp will be back online, right? Either or, depending on what characters are running, right? If they're running a ton of hit scan, that you're gonna have a hard time just like hoping they just charge it. It might not be worth doing that. Then again, hit scan has a harder time punishing you generally. Sig, right? Sig's pretty good into hit scan for the most part. Just something to keep in mind, right? Yeah, one other thing you can do with your rock, I can't really demonstrate it in the training range, is you can block off healing, right, from reaching someone that's like behind it, right? So like, for example, if you imagine he has supports here, right, and if obviously this wall can't be here, the shield does block LOS from his supports healing the tank, or whoever you're blocking off. That's very important in tank matchups like well, all tank matchups, quite frankly, but especially annoying ones like Ramattra or Ryan, where your shield's not necessarily getting value from blocking cooldowns or blocking damage. From the tank matchup itself, you can often just preserve your shield HP, wear their HP down, wait for them to overcommit. For example, if like the Ryan pins forward, you shoot him a bit, right? And then once he pins forward, right, just imagine this is the Ryan, right? And then like the other guys to support, Okay. Okay, whatever. I'm sure you get what I'm trying to say, right? So like the Ryan pins in, I shield him off, shoot him as he's walking in, shield him off so he can't get healed, and then just like keep putting pressure on him, right? Because now his team has to like destroy my shield or do a lot of damage to it. And he's gonna be taking damage from me and my teammates all at the same time, right? And obviously like I can't use shield to block damage except Earth Shatter in that matchup. Yeah. One also small tip, right? I'll have to wait for this tank bot to get his shield back. You can use your explosions, right? Kind of touched on this earlier, to shoot above shields, right? So, like in the Ryan matchup, the tank bot's not as big as Ryan, so it's a little more difficult. But you can see I'm not damaging. Well, I'm probably damaging the shield a bit, but I'm also doing like damage to his HP. Yeah. So just keep that in mind for like annoying tanks like Ryan or Ram. They're just gonna try to shield you off. You can shoot above them, right? I mean, sometimes you just want to shoot the shield. It's contextual, right? Like just to wear it down so they can't push for free. Especially against Ramatra, like it's pretty low value to shoot shields. So you might want to just shoot above that anyways. Rock, pretty much, it's the best way for Sigma to get kills without his ultimate, right? Or, if your team isn't focus firing people, Sigma can kind of struggle to get kills, solo kills, because he only does like 75-ish, maybe 80-ish damage per second. At most, like, supports that like heal a bit, like, Anna, Bap, Kirige, etc. All heal for approximately the same amount of damage that you deal. Like healing per second and damage per second are the same. So like in a team environment, yeah, it's beneficial, but like in a solo thing, like it's not generally always possible to get solo kills just with primary fire, right? Obviously, like in the middle of a team fight, it's gonna happen, right? Especially like as it's evolving. But the best way for Sigma to get kills is to use his rock and then shoot afterwards, right? So it does almost one-shot 250 HP characters. I'm pretty sure the bot has that 250 as well, right? And if you'll notice, it also stun locks the character. I'm going slow just to make it easier to visualize, right? And a melee will finish it off. I think they live with 10 HP, but you can pretty much do it, all simultaneously like that if you're close enough melee to finish them off. Yeah, very, very useful to always like use rock off cooldown, or as often as possible, I should say, because it's by far your best method of actually like getting solo kills on Sig, right? Because it like stuns them for a fair amount of time. It makes your follow-up shots quite easy. If they've taken any prior damage, they just get one shot, and if you're close, you just pull something like that off. Generally, you want to wait for people to use cooldowns because you can see the rock has a long wind-up, right? So, like, ideally, for example, against like a Genji or whatever, you see him dash in, for example. Okay, now he can't like dash out of the way of your rock, right? You can rock him through deflect or whatever. You might not necessarily expect it all the time. But if he sees you charging up rock and he's near cover, he's just gonna like break cover or dash away. Like it's quite easy to dodge rock as compared to hook, right? Like you can see like that is like a second and a half maybe, whereas hook it's like you're pretty much instant, right? Like not quite, but you know, it's a lot faster. um, I guess final tip. It's kind of the same thing with ult, right? You see, you have 5 seconds to actually use your ult before it like auto does it, right? So, a lot of times in certain matchups, you know, you can actually use your ult to scare people into using cooldowns. And for example, like they have someone that like jumps or dashes, you can use your ult to scare them to use your thing, and then see where they land afterwards. Alternatively, you can just poke them out a bit first, force out their cooldowns that way, and then just you know, use your ult after they've used them, right? Obviously, team context dependent. Something to keep in mind though, right? So ult does the big thing is it does half of the character's HP when it lands. I think it does 50 on the lift, right, which is pretty inconsequential against tanks. You see, like, it just nukes tanks, right, and they have no way of blocking the damage now because they got micro buffed. I don't even call that a micro buff, but he got buffed a lot. Used to be able to resist his ult, and that's not the case anymore. It does 50% no matter what, as far as I'm aware. And it's worth mentioning that the center of the thing, in the ult, in the center, is the LOS check, right? So you see it hits hog here. Unfortunately, I was too busy explaining. I was going to try to get it around the corner. Right, so if I do it here, you see he's still in the aura, right? But this should not work, right? Because this thing right here blocks LOS. Something to keep in mind, right? So if you're failing fluxes, yeah, keep that in mind. For his first perks, I pretty much think that this one's better. Maybe in matchups where like they're just really hard for you to farm the enemy tank, it's worse, right? But usually, like I just don't see a lot of times or a lot of opportunities for like you to actually get good value on the grasp, right? Because like if you consider the matchups, the tank matchups where it's hard to farm your shield, like with your primary fire, right? It's also going to be hard to actually use your rock, right? So like think of something like Reinhardt, right, where you're not going to be able to farm him consistently. Well, you're also not going to really be able to like use rock more consistently. Um, because he just has a massive shield that's going to block everything you do, right? So, yeah. It's not terrible, but I just think it's less consistent overall. This one, basically, like, if they're running Rush, or, like, you basically Rush, you want to go with a Hyper Strike, right? Because I'll pick it just to showcase what it does. In case anyone's not aware. So, if you punch people, you see it sets them in a set trajectory, and it stun locks them. Not effectively stun locks them, I should say. For, about a second and a half, 2 seconds maybe. It makes follow-up shots quite easy, especially with the rock combo. It's quite dangerous because, right, they can't really do anything about it, right? They can't really kite out of that or surf or strafe out of that. So, something to keep in mind, right? Against dive characters is pretty decent too, depending on the map. Yeah, but especially against like annoying tanks like a Rhino or a Matra, you can just keep punching them away, and give yourself a lot of space. So. I don't think this resets perks, but okay, it does. The other perk, basically, if there's a high ground map, or there's any like sort of you won't get value out of the punch, basically always take this one, right? It's kind of like the Zen perk, float perk, where like even on maps where like it's not maybe immediately obvious how much value it gets, it's still quite valuable, right? Because you just show up at like some random angle, and you just rock one-shot them, and you just, instantly win the fight based off that alone, right? And like if they're not on characters, the map or like bans make the punch perk like really not valuable. Like this is pretty much the go-to, right? Like you want to pick this one unless the enemy team forces you to pick the other one, basically. Okay, that's quite a long introduction here, so you have to bear with me. But I'm pretty sure that covers just about everything that I want to talk about. So, Sig, I'll go over like brief tank matchups, I guess. I think most tanks aren't that annoying for Sig, right? See, obviously map dependent. Like on maps like this with like really long sight lines, Sig does quite well on. Just because he outranges like every other tank in the game effectively. Like you're going to be getting consistent value at like 20 25 meters ish. Whereas other tanks, that's not the case, right? Like their projectiles just either don't go that far, or they're significantly harder to hit than Cygnus, right? And you just have like pretty good tools to sit in one spot and stall, or just like kite around the map, depending on the situation, of course, right? So, yeah, the annoying tanks, in my opinion, for Sig are usually like Rhine, Ramatra, Zarya, and Winston are probably the most annoying, right? Um, Obviously, like this is like in a ladder situation, right? It's a little different, like any sort of organized play. But like Rhine and Ramatra both are just like massive resource dumps for you, right? Like I said, you don't do the best DPS, and they have like effectively like 3,000 HP or something like that off rip. And your shield also and your grasp also don't get like any consistent value against those tanks. So yeah, I mean, like all you can really do against them is play your distance as much as possible and do your best to like try to zone their backline and like cut off their healing if should they overextend, right? Yeah. Zarya, I think, is like annoying, but not like too bad. You can definitely brawl a Zarya, just because you have like effectively, I'd say like roughly a 1.5 times her health, and you can kind of like bait her into using bubbles a lot of time, right? Unfortunately, I didn't play Sig that much. This is kind of like a last second thing. I figured before the new patch came out, I'd just get this out of the way. Yeah, you can like kind of like look at her, but shoot her above her, right? So like, I hope that's easy to visualize, right? To like bait her into thinking you're shooting her, but like you just intentionally go above her head so she gets no charge, or just literally ignore and farm her backline as much as you can, right? Um, in neutral, it's kind of like Hog into Zarya. Like I don't really think it's that much of a problem as long as like, your team's playing well and she doesn't like have a good team comp, right? But if she has like a Vendetta or a Reaper, it gets really annoying because you like really can't ignore them, right? Like when she has like an actual tank, I guess, for lack of a better term, that's when it gets really annoying because like you can't really stop them from walking forward, right? I mean that's kind of a problem in general, right? Yeah, but just like do your best to like count bubbles and just like hard push her and rock her when she overextends when she only has like 0 to 1 bubbles, right? Um, yeah. And against Winston's annoying because like he's kind of like a more mobile Reinhardt, right? Like he doesn't have like a ton of HP, but like between his shield or his bubble and his own HP, it's kind of annoying for you to deal with just because he can close the distance so fast, right? Especially if he has a Lucio or something, that helps him close the distance. He can just like especially if he's like running a good team comp, you can just like instantly get surrounded, and like there's really not much you can do sometimes, depending on the map, right? If it's like on Circuit Royale, it's one thing, but if it's on like any other map, like all you can hope to do is poke them out as much as possible, right? Especially that's like what your go-to against dive. You have to kind of like ruin their stage and just like continuously do damage so they can't get a clean engagement. Anyways, like here, I'd say this is a pretty good opportunity to play Sig, right? So like. Obviously, I don't know exactly what their comp is yet, but you can see up top here, right? Queen, it's like not really a problem for Sig, in my opinion. Like on really close range maps, maybe. But you just poke her out so easily, as long as you're not missing everything. And you're good into both Widow and Hanzo, right? Like they're never really gonna kill you. You can block headshots. You can actually like contest angles of shield. You can spam them out sometimes. And against Mercy's whatever Zen's, like you're pretty good in Zen too, right? So. Here, just walking forward, right? Again, didn't know what they were on, but like again, their comp is like not good, right? Like Mercy's End's horrible, quite frankly, especially when like their entire team kind of loses the matchup into me. Like, and the Queen just doesn't have enough like sustain to actually brawl with me, so I can afford to be pretty aggressive here and try to go for like these dangerous rocks, because I can just get bailed out by Grasp, right? Here, I'm trying to like take cover away from my shield to recharge a bit, and get some cooldowns back or time back on my grasp, so it's less risky for me to walk forward, right? You're just trying to walk forward. I have to again wait because my shield's low. I don't want to go too aggressive. I win the spam duel, so like I'm not worried if this queen's not doing anything. I'm fine, right? You see, like I'm pretty safe. Like it looks like I'm low, but like as long as I stay above like 150-ish, this queen can't kill me with Rack. So Again, like I'm trying to ignore this queen as much as possible. This is a general rule for like every tank, but especially on Sig, right? Like even though she only has mercies and heals, I don't want the backline to kill my team, right? Because she has like that horrible support comp, she also can't go aggressive. So I'm still better off just like focusing backline, and trying to isolate him, right? So here, like this bounce shots are really valuable, right? So like, see. Just continuously shooting him. I know his only options are basically to walk in the open, in which case my team kills him, or go to the left, in which case my bounce shots kill him, right? So, yep. At this point, this is basically over, right? Basically, obviously, leading my shots as well as I can. Um, the queen's in a 1v4, so like I don't even care about her, right? I'm just, honestly, probably turning for the queen's better there than killing the mercy because she's totally useless alone. But yeah, I gotta send a message to the mercy players. That's all I'm gonna say here. Right, still in a terrible comp. They swapped Genji, probably slightly better in the Sig than well, actually, yeah, definitely than whatever Widow. You see, like I can afford to be aggressive, right? Because they can't like speed onto me really. Because they're so far away, I didn't even know we could use her shout. But like they can't speed on me to that from that distance, and they're just gonna get spammed down if they decide to want me. They're still on terrible heals. Unfortunately, I thought the Discord would be gone, so I almost died there. Still getting the bounce shots right, especially like the Genji's deflecting. So I don't want to just like fire straight into him. Close, he over swings that corner, so I figured maybe it's worth trying to go for a rock there. I don't really want to like hard commit right quite yet because you know we're down one, been like down one like this entire time. So just gonna keep like rotating around, seeing what I can do. Kind of screw up my mechanics. Here, I'm not quite sure. I don't know if you're aware, but like I have a problem with my internet all the time. I think I accidentally like hit shift. I don't even know how. And like here, I'm like kind of confused because I'm like, why am I not shifting? And obviously like if I had shift there, that would be a fine play. But like I almost died. I guess I must have accidentally played it or something. Here, like I was talking about earlier, I see this guy dash in, free flux, right? So getting even one kill with flux is good. Right here, just trying to shield this angle so I can't get shot, like I can't block any healing from the queen, but I'm also like body blocking so she can't get away more easily, and just wasting even more resources from their team, right? So just, you know, holding grasp so I'm indestructible. Zoning the back line, right? Just walking forward. Queen ults in, I can't do anything, like she just goes too far, right? So yeah, just walk in the back line, right? I zoom forward a little here. Really not too much to say. You see, like just target priority is a big thing. Same with every tank. Like if I can just bypass the queen, I will. Right? Like if she's a better support comp and she can like mirror me more effectively, then so be it. Right? I just obviously have to change how I'm playing, but especially in this situation, like they have low heals, so I can just keep spamming. Right? It's pretty much always in my favor. I mean, that's a good thing on Sig in general, right? Actually, very important thing here. You can use your projectiles to test where people are, right? So like I know these things are going to explode roughly in this area here, which means I know the queen isn't contesting this area, which means I know she's probably going to be doing something like this, which gives me the opportunity to come this way and like zone her backline from her, right? She can't like split herself because like her backline is so bad, right? You see like free access to their backline, she overextends. Body block in this doorway, at least try, right? She's too thin of a person to do that too consistently, right? I think I expect that guy to use Storm Arrow, but whatever. Again, just walking in, they're down 2, so here you see like I could be walking further in to the left, but that opens me up to just wasting shield resource, right? And opening up the angle to get shot by this Ana or like slept or naded for no reason and put myself in a worse position to run away should something go wrong, right? Whereas if I just literally stand here and just shoot this board or whatever, the Zen can't do anything, right? Like he's going to die eventually, or like the Genji's going to die because Ana is forced to heal bot the Zen so he doesn't die, right? Like no reason for me to rush this. Like if he just sits there, he's dead, right? See, he just dies anyways, right? Like he's clearly overextended, so yeah, no reason to keep pushing forward. in that specific scenario here, obviously they're down 3, so I'm just gonna walk, right? They can't really do anything. Just waste their resources, right? Like, Snake's pretty good at doing this, right? Unfortunately, I'm missing. I mean, the Queen's also doing a fairly decent job at not just botting in, but yeah. You see, if I can take these spam duels, I'm gonna take pretty much every time. I don't want to get knifed. You see, especially against like Queen and Hog, like if I expect they're gonna peek, I pretty much just instantly shield the angle every time, right? It's a little contextual, but like I just don't want to get like a skill shot by like the knife hook, right? So here, right, I see them use all their cooldowns, right? They use pull, they use shout. I know their Hanzo's just died, but I knew their Genji was dead. He's just respawning now, and I know the Ana's to the right, so I can't get slept or anything. So yeah, free flux, right? Again, just fluxing the tank. I know the tank's dead no matter what, because she's just too low. So I'm just immediately ignoring her, floating over to the right side, and just like trying to get as many kills as possible, right? They're all panicking, right? Just running the spawn. Easy shots. They saw me last on right side, so I'm gonna rotate left, right? I think the cover's slightly better over here. Again, the Queen's on a better healing comp, right? But now I have a better position because I can just spam their spawn and like they're just not catching on that they need to come this way to clear me. Otherwise, they're just gonna get stuck in spawn, obviously. And like the Queen's basically just taking a 1v4 because like you see like they can't do anything without just getting like spammed for like 300 damage if they decide to push that door, right? So yeah, end of that. Pretty simple game, right? Like that's a pretty good map, pretty good team comp to play into. Yeah, pretty straightforward. This one is. You'll have to excuse my internet was really bad. I think my mouse died a few times this game. Yeah, it was like exceptionally windy this day, so yeah, you have to bear with me. It's a little. If you see me just randomly stand still, that's why. I mean, I could have definitely played better this game, but yeah, it's a little beside the point. It's quite difficult to make sure everything was a-okay, so to speak. So here, this is like not a good matchup in my opinion for Sig, right? Like, the Junkrat's whatever, right? Like he's a goofy character, but like they can all ignore me pretty well, right? Like Lucio can just literally go around me. This new character can just like do whatever, right? And she even has an invuln to dodge my rock. You know, Winston can just leap on me immediately, right? Like they have a lot of options just to kind of run me over. The good thing about the Winston matchup is like as long as I don't get like shield or bubbled away from my team, his damage is kind of low, so like I'm not on the same timer I would be if it was like a Ryan or a Macho, right? So here I know they're on Lucio. I don't want to get sped on instantly, so I can't really take a super aggressive angle. See, like I'm trying to dance around in this area here, right? Had I known the Junk was here alone, I would have gone on them. Obviously, I did not. But you see, I'm just spamming this angle because they're all grouped here, right? Like, and I know they're on Kiri Lucio, so they don't have like the highest heal composition ever, right? Be harder against if they had like a big group here like BAP or something like that. But just spamming them gets this like massive cluster is getting me a lot of value, right? I figure maybe someone would overextend there. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I figure the Junk would have spammed more. That's another problem against like Winston. Like I get no grasp value in this matchup, quite frankly. So I'm gonna use it kind of like should I think I get any value, which is basically if I think the Junk's gonna spam, right? Still, see, I'm trying to spam the backline. Apologize. See, Winston's like, I know I have a high healing backline, so like, he's gonna have to like bubble off my supports to kill me, right? Unfortunate. Good bubble by their Winston. Don't know if that was entirely intentional, but we'll take it. It's also like quite hard to hit these super mobile guys. So here, walking in, obviously I got the pick on the whatever Onrun, so just walking in here, trying to get the Winston. He's like just breaking my LOS too well, so I'm just gonna ignore him. Walk point, entire team's here, so trying to get bounce shots off like some sort of backboard or something. Get that Junk. I expected their Winston to go away. You see Winston jumps in, this guy's on point, so free flux on this guy. See, I have a hard time catching up with them because like they can just literally ignore me, right? They just literally just run over my team if they want to. Um, and it's kind of tough to do anything, right? So here I know that Winston has no bubble, and I know he has primal as well. So like if I know if I stun him, he'll just get burst down before he can use it. He's probably not going to use it in this fight, but it's potentially turnable because we are down our Ana. So yeah, basically I just have to like try to like find value shooting people as much as possible. Here shielding off the junk because I don't want him to, you know, just flip point by flinging concussion mines at me. So just trying to shield to block that, right? Yeah, just chasing kills basically, right? Competing in, trying to get bounce shots. Again, trying to get bounce shots. I see she gets the mega. Not gonna waste my time just chasing her around the map. Here again, same thing. I know this guy's primal. Unfortunately, I rocked the ceiling. Oh well. Here I see the Kiri here. If I block the Kiri from coming in, right, they should be pretty low healing to begin with. Unfortunately, she just TPs around me. Like, as you can see, it's really hard. Especially like this is not a particularly like open area. Especially on this map, my team's kind of like, I mean, yeah, they have to kind of kite, but they keep going these like enclosed areas where I can't like get to them to help with the on run and jump right fast enough. So yeah, gonna have to hope they overextend. See again, ignoring the Winston, trying to force the stuff from the Fury. I know the guy is primal, so yeah. Oh well, it's tough to win, right? See, I'm almost to my ult again. You do build ult pretty fast on Sig because you do a ton of damage, right? Even though the cost is pretty high. Yeah. Anyways, especially this team comp is like kind of hard to hit. And, you know, if my mechanics were a bit better, a little bit more practiced, and I wasn't stuttering so much, it'd be even easier. Yeah, it's a little beside the point. I see Kiri here, just trying to force TP. See, I'm not even bothering rocking her. Unfortunately, like I can't really do much except force cooldown sometimes because they can just ignore me no matter what I do, right? So I'm just trying to like play aggressive to force out CDs from the get-go, right? I see they use everything. Small thing here, like you see I don't immediately grasp when I'm trapped because I know I can just live one person shooting me, but the moment the Winston jumps me, I'm expecting them to focus fire me, so I just grasp. Like obviously I know the Winston, I can't stop him hitting me, but like if the junk started shooting me, I'd be in a big problem, right? So unfortunate. I expect him to jump a bit sooner. Here, kind of same thing with the Zen, right? Like I don't want to really go and fight this guy in an enclosed area, right? You know, I just keep spamming. He's gonna get screwed eventually. Here, this was the nano speed boost messed me up. Obviously, don't do that. Yeah, this is a little embarrassing, and I'm getting the kill regardless. I know I'm isolated here, so I can't fight the Kiri. Unfortunately, that rush just killed me. Let me go a little further back. Here, unfortunately, like they just take fights so often, it's hard to keep up. I see they use a ton of cooldowns, right? Just go in. I see the Lucio is slept, so unfortunately I was dead and like yeah, I couldn't really do much that fight. Just trying to trade people out as much as possible. Build ult. I get two, which is fine, right? But tough to do anything there. Get a ton of damage, right? They're grouping and it gives me a lot of splash damage. See, I'm just getting a ton of value by forcing Security to do a lot of healing, right? Again, right, I'm trying to get the rocks on the Winston when I know he doesn't have bubble. Because like I said, if you just stun lock him, he just dies and he can't pop primal. Here I know the junk has tires, so I'm trying to mark him. Unfortunate miss. Yeah, I'm trying to do that thing where I force out cooldowns by, you know, popping ult. You see, I catch two of them by being patient. You see, I'm like very rarely just immediately popping Flux. I mean, obviously, like sometimes, like for example, that whatever Midtown game against the Genji, I see he dashes in all alone. I just insta Flux him, right? It's free pick. Here, see, I do a ton of damage. It's killed the guy. Winston's pretty much dead. Yeah, you can see like my internet was dying or something there. So Here again, trying to get the bounce shots, trying to anchor for my Ana. You see, I'm getting a lot of value from the bounce shots, right? Like, something always to keep in mind, especially on these like more enclosed maps, right? Yeah. Not much to say, right? Just trying to ruin their engage, right? Don't want them to engage for free. You see my team's in, we nano in. It's probably hard to hear, but that's why I'm playing this aggressively, right? Trying to help me on run get value. And keep missing this Winston. Trying to rotate back to point because I expect them to touch, right? They don't, but that's fine. Here I see my Kiri's there, so I'm like trying not to LOS her, right? It's all good. Just clean up more or less. Even if I die there, it's not the end of the world. So here I don't expect my literally entire team to be chasing this Kiri, so I really should have just turned around to see what was going on, but probably I should have gotten punished more there. End up losing the fight, but I believe maybe. Yeah. See, like this area is like really hard to fight in, right? Like unless I'm just hitting everything. Yeah, it's just like the sight lines are so short that it's quite difficult. Another beautiful miss by me, but I end up getting that one regardless. See, here, like I said, like this is pretty low value cooldown here, so just eating some junk spam to take some pressure off my supports. It's fine. Oh yeah, I completely failed to mention it at the beginning, but like shielding off your teammates or like grasping for them is quite good, right? Grasp also does eat healing from like tanks, right? So if like they had Ana, pretend the Junk's and Ana and this Winston's low, I can literally just like grasp on top of them, like in this direction, and it will eat healing, similar to Shield or like Diva Matrix. But you can also do that to save your teammates from damage occasionally. You can see like pretty much this entire game, like I mean, granted we don't like have hit scan, so it's a little not consistent, but like you can see I'm pretty much always just using Shield selfishly, right? Like here, I want them to use cooldowns. That's why I'm not using Grasp. I want to force cooldowns first. And then see the Winston jumps in, immediately like flux him, right? See, even though he pops primal, we get him low enough to begin with when he's in the air, like stun locked more or less, that when he lands with primal, he's already lost like his entire HP pool, right? Like he's like his primal value is just half already. No armor, right? And yeah, now he has also no bubble, no cooldowns, right? So I see the Kiri here, right? 3 kill. Can't stop tire that time, unfortunately. See, I'm not very familiar with that timing. Honestly, horrible ult though. You see right there, like it's pretty good, right? It makes the follow-up shots quite easy. My team just kills him first. Just walking to choke, right? You see, I want to try to play in this like long. If they want to stage here, I want to play in this like kind of long sight line here, right? You see, this is pretty good distance. And just keep spamming them out, right? Like I just don't want them to come in for free. You see, like I'm just constantly like chipping this Winston down. Like it would be better value for me to hit the backline, which I'm trying here, but like I know they're on like Kiri Lucio, so like the heals are low, and if I just keep wasting the Kiri's time, forcing her to pocket this Winston, he can never like go for a good commit, right? Like you see here, he's wasted bubble, and like I said, like you won't get kills by shooting just one targeted sig usually. But especially in this situation here, right? I'm forcing out the Kiris, all of our heals into this Winston, so they're just not allowed to push, right? He has to waste bubble just to push, right? So here, good sleep on my Ana. Ana was a good player, so yeah. I see the Junk's lower right. Try to push him, trying to hit the bounce shots. See the Kiri's healing him. I'm not going to be able to kill him at this point. They're down one, so like I can get away with that. Right, just flinging my cooldowns into rush. I expected to eat more spam there, but it's all right. Since I have no cooldowns, I'm gonna play out of rush, right? Junk's overextended, right? Kiri's just being forced to constantly heal. You see, like Lucio on speed R is kind of like hard to do anything at times, right? Like this is just like I would not say this is a particularly good map for Signal, especially at this point. Like there's just a lot of ways to break my LOS. Their team's damage is pretty low, especially because I killed the junk, so it's okay to like try not to stagger. Here, another bad ult. We don't need to see this, right? I expected him to jump a bit sooner. Get some good reactions by him. A lot of really good ults this game. I'll say that. Obviously, some ult sometimes like it's gonna happen, right? They just have a lot of ways of maneuvering around it. And when I say that, like they have Suzu. This girl has like 2 movement abilities and a invuln. Junk has 2 mines. Winston has jump. Lucio is like just hard to hit, and you can just like speed or beat. Kiri has TP and Suzu to get out of it, right? So there's just a lot of cooldowns that need to be out of the picture. Here I knew it was close to capping out, but if we weren't getting those kills, we're gonna lose the fight anyway. So. Yeah, don't need to really see that. Just die there. Obviously, the entire team's dead, so. Just rocking the wall, you know, no biggie. I don't want to isolate myself early because if they speed jump on me, I'm just gonna die, right? Especially I expect they have Primal at this point, so. Oops. See, like I'm just getting knocked around. It's kind of hard to aim. Probably, I think I just die here. Yeah. Probably should not be going in that direction. Probably should just be going main. That's alright, whatever. Speaking forward a bit here. They want to fight out here, that's fine, right? Like, you see the sight lines are way better for me out here. You're just trying to get value off the bounce shots, right? Like, I don't want to peek this guy and take unnecessary damage. Like, you can be doing the same thing, right? Just trying to find value, right? Get the Kiri. Trying to go point, obviously. Yeah, not much to say here, right? You know, I just have to go point because obviously about to cap out. I screw up here. Oops. I'm just not very familiar with the character, obviously, so I say that because against most characters, she just has a lot of mobility and like an invuln. Against most characters, you can probably just shoot them first, especially against tanks, and then just rock them. But like against mobile characters like Tracer, just go ahead and rock them and just insta-kill. I say that because you can greed most characters, like most hit scans, just by shooting them without rocking. And I was like, oh, oops. And I just rocked anyways. And it's obviously double down on the waist. It's alright though. See, still spamming them, right? See, like, they probably really don't want to go that way. You can see they're just eating a ton of spam coming in. Engage. Just anchoring point here. Doing my best to hit stuff, right? Doing okay. I see the trap on the floor there. See this guy TP's in. I'm pretty sure you used Suzu earlier, so yeah. Okay, that one's not on me. That's unfortunate timing. I mean, it is on me, but you know what I mean. So. I mean, just clean up, right? Just trying to find value in targets I can hit, right? Especially if I can, trying to get their like big healer as often as possible. Yeah, just so there's so much healing pressure, right? Some great aim by me yet again. Yep. I figure they use a ton of cooldowns, right? Yeah, I want to win this fight, so like they use a lot of fair amount of ult, so whatever. I guess they use monkey, whatever. It's good enough for me though. Just over ulting to guarantee points is worth it in my opinion. So. beat it through here a little. Like, I'm kind of stalling here because like they really don't want to take a fight in this long lane here, but I don't mind doing so. I'm expecting his junk to come up on tire, so I kind of want to mark him, try to destroy as well as I can. Kind of screws up his jump, right? You can see they keep putting themselves in these like really long sight lines, right? And I'm just really easily just spamming pretty much this area here. Just denying the entire choke, right? And they can't really like touch me, right? See how far away I am, and my projectiles are like pretty much. I mean, I think that's Freya's, but like you see my projectiles be exploding right around here, right? That might be mine actually, which is like really good value, right? So I know they're just gonna spam everything at me because they rush, right? Might as well get value from that. I'm pretty sure this lady can like hit through my grasp with her like fire tornado. I don't even know what it's called, but yeah. You can see Kiri just trying to, of course, waste her time, right? Trying to get the bounce shots right. You can see like it's really annoying. These super mobile characters, right? You just have to like not die and do your best to hit shots. Trying to shield this guy off. Your body block if I have to. No, this junk's overextended, so. And I say that their tank just died, so I'm just trying to force him away. See, I saw the Curious right side. See, he's getting healed, so I'm not going to commit for that. I know their Winston's going to be back soon. I'm trying to maintain my distance. I don't see the Winston yet, so I'm okay to play somewhat close. See, this guy jumps in, right? Pretty much instantaneously again. Just wasting the tank's resources is really valuable, right? Because like, obviously it's a multiplicative, so 50% of 600 is way higher than 50% of 250. So it's pretty good value, right? You have to be careful though that they just don't like life grip or Suzo, something like that, right? Yeah, it's kind of a waste. Another stellar mechanics here, right? I'm literally just missing. This isn't the internet. Doing what I can though. Probably should have played point, but I figured like it's okay. We're already in one fight territory because we're already at 90%. It's okay to give up space so my Kiri isn't forced to like really wide swing. Put herself in a really bad position, right? Again, right? See, we're just literally stun locking this guy, right? Like I said, if Winston is primal and you just stun lock him, sleep and just shoot into rock into like a ton of burst damage, you can just die if it's not like holding down Q or like his connection's bad or like we just time it perfectly, right? This is literally just clean up here, right? Like their tank dies, it's over. Oops. Whatever, they can't run in. Too low, so. Yep. Okay, so I guess to reiterate, right? Sig, you definitely want to play slow, generally, right? You don't want to take fights right away. You work best at like, I mean, this is general, of course. Like there are instances where you can brawl a Sig, right? But yeah, you want to waste people's resources, and then once the resources are down, that's when you want to walk in, right? Like you see, most of the time, I default to spamming, right? And I walk forward after there's some sort of cooldown advantage or like some sort of damage advantage that I can capitalize on, right? Obviously, it's not always the case, right? Against like Lucio Winston, I can't really decide when they go in, right? But I can do my best to like consistently spam them, especially these like long choke points I keep putting myself in. Just so they never get a clean engage, right? I just want to waste their time. So they're forced to use cooldowns or just like engage at the low HP in the first place, right? Like, like since their damage is lower, like I can afford to be a bit more aggressive in general, anyways, right? So like it seems like I'm playing more aggressive, but I kind of have to ruin their engage, and because like their damage isn't like as high as like a more stationary comp in general, of course, right? So yeah, I hope this helps.